Good morning. This is KELOLAND On The Go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your Sunday. We also have your Border Busters coming up, but first, our top story. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says he's ready to push forward with a bold legislative agenda once President-elect Trump takes office next week. Thune says he'd like to see increased border security among the priorities in Congress this year. He says he's hopeful the Laken-Riley Act will pass, a bill which, among other provisions, empowers states with the authority to address illegal immigration. Even many Democrats are on board with the bill.
All but 9 Democrats voted for it in the Senate. So hopefully there's a change there. I think they recognize that bills like this, which are just common sense, and particularly those that deal with border security and the security of our communities, frankly, in this country, that they need to be highlighted.
Thune says he has a strong working relationship with Trump. He also expects the Senate to confirm Governor Kristi Noem as Trump's Department of Homeland Security Secretary fairly quickly after her confirmation hearing on Wednesday. Snow has been piling up in the Black Hills during a weekend winter storm that's created difficult driving conditions this morning. The Pennington County Sheriff's Office posted this photo last night showing what drivers were facing in the Rapid City area. They reported Interstate 90 was extremely slick in spots with whiteout conditions in some places. They're urging drivers to slow down and use caution on the roads. Some roads were closed in the northern Black Hills this morning. Let's take our first look at the forecast with meteorologist Adam Rutt and find out if the conditions are improving out west.
Well, the short answer is yes, we are getting some improvement out that way, but it's going to be gradual as blowing snow is still going to be a concern, not just out in the hills, but even East River to a different extent, which we'll explain why in just a moment. Temperatures also have been falling over the course of the morning. We are at 17 at this hour at the airport in Sioux Falls with a northwest wind at 24 miles per hour as we take a look at Falls Park, and it only gets colder from there. Meanwhile, up in Aberdeen, we are also getting pretty cold with an air temperature of 4. Northwest wind at 22 miles per hour up that way. In Pierre, 5 with a northwest wind at 15 miles per hour, at least trying to get a little bit of sunshine to break through the clouds. And out west in Rapid City, 10 with a north wind at 11 miles per hour. Again, the bulk of the snow is out of here, outside of maybe some snow showers and flurries of a lighter variety east of the James River Valley. But in its wake, a lot of cold and a lot of snow, or not a lot of snow, but a lot of cold and a lot of wind on the way. Not a lot of snow. Cannot stress that enough. The good news also is that our winter storm warnings have expired out in the hills. There are 14, by the way, in Spearfish, 15 for Custer, down to 14 now in Chamberlain, as well as Mitchell, Spencer over in Iowa at 21, 17 Yankton and Worthington, 6 in Mobridge, and 8 in Sisseton. As I mentioned, those temperatures, especially to the southeast, are going to be falling over the course of the morning and afternoon. Sustained winds at 15 to 30 miles per hour out of the northwest, creating wind chill values well below 0, especially the farther north you go. Feels like it's minus 18 in Faith, minus 19 in Buffalo, minus 18 your wind chill in Aberdeen, minus 15 for Sisseton, minus 14 in Huron, a wind chill of minus 4 for Rapid City, minus 1 in Sioux Falls, 5 above 0 at least though in Spencer, but that's not going to be lasting much longer. We'll talk about the rest of your 7-day forecast, which doesn't feature much in the way of snow, but a good amount in terms of temperature fluctuation. That's coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you very much, Adam. A business in Brandon is turning up the heat on its quickly growing clientele. Burn 605 Infrared Fitness Studio offers a variety of yoga and strength-based workouts, including this 45-minute sculpt class in a room with infrared panels where the temperature routinely tops 100 degrees.
Once they try their first class, people are worried about the heat. They always come back, so we are loving it.
I was kind of scared to come at first, but then my sister was like, no, like, we gotta go, we gotta go. And then I came and it ended up being like something that I found a new passion for, and I come almost every day now. I love it.
The most popular class at Burn 605 begins at 5:15 in the morning every day with about 30 people taking part. We've provided a link with complete class options, scheduling, and pricing under this story at KELOLAND.com. It has been a year of change for a local bakery known for its alcohol-infused creations. Intoxa Bakes moved locations a couple of times in 2024, but has now landed back in downtown Sioux Falls.
So we were in there for roughly 5 years, and then we went to the mall, and now we're here. So we did 2 moves last year, so we're happy our customers are still following us around.
But changing locations isn't the only major move for Intoxa Bakes. Coming up in tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, we'll tell you about their tasty merging with Candy Cloud Factory. Be sure to watch tonight at 10. The City of Sioux Falls outdoor ice rinks are open for skaters of all ages. The rinks are located at Campus, Frank Olson, McKinnon, Memorial, Sherman, and Tuthill Parks. Today's hours are 1 to 8 p.m. Admission is free. Open indoor skating at the Shields Iceplex in Sioux Falls goes from 1 to 3 p.m. Admission is $9 for adults, $7 for children, and skate rentals are $4. Ride for Rails is a rail jam style competition at Great Bear Ski Valley starting at 1 p.m. It costs $10 to register, with the money going to terrain park maintenance. Great Bear is open for regular skiing and snowboarding from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Tubing Hill is open from 9 to 4:30. And enjoy AFC wildcard playoff action on KELOLAND TV. CBS Sports coverage begins at 11 a.m. Central Time with the NFL Today. That's followed by the Denver Broncos at the Buffalo Bills at noon. Adam?
A few more snow showers of a scattered variety are possible, especially east of the James River Valley. We'll start zoomed out this time around. You can see that parent area of low pressure over northwestern Wisconsin near Duluth as well. But enough moisture on the backside of that, kind of pinwheeling around through Fargo, Aberdeen, Webster, and eventually into southeastern portions of KELOLAND. Not amounting to much of the accumulation on the high end, less than an inch on the low end, just a dusting or just some conversational flakes, as I like to refer to them. But that's really going to be just about it. We'll zoom in a little bit more, get a better perspective of what we're seeing. And while, again, it's not much, it's still something all the same, considering we're also dealing with a lot of wind. So any snow that has been able to fall is going to get wind swept as well. Keep this in mind with anything that you have for your Sunday morning routine. As we go through Futurecast, the good news is any moisture gets out of here. Also good news, like I mentioned earlier, the winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories out for the hills have been allowed to expire. The bad news is it's going to be cold, it's going to be windy, and road conditions are still going to be treacherous at times, especially toward the hills and to a lesser extent where we've seen a little bit of that blowing snow to the east. We'll see a little more snow try to come in as we head into Monday and Monday night, especially out to the west and eventually south central portions of KELOLAND, but we're not looking at much in the way of extra accumulation out of this little system. In fact, as we go through the next couple of days, there really isn't much in the way of organized, let alone active weather to talk about beyond some hit or miss scattered snow showers. Rather, the big story is going to be what we see on the thermometer. We start off cold through Tuesday night, but then that gets out of here pretty quickly. Notice all that warmth up in Canada. That spills down southward, and we are going to warm up quite nicely into the 30s, even some 40s, not out of the question. But then we replace that with more cold. In fact, the odds for below average temperatures are pretty heavily favored, not just through the weekend, but headed into the home stretch of January for that matter. So keep that in mind. While not every day is going to be below average, we just simply have those far better odds to see that, whether it's by a few degrees or, in the case of the short-term outlook, more than a few degrees. Again, high temperatures today, especially south and east, are early morning highs. Those temperatures are going to be falling through the afternoon. Daytime highs will be likely in the low teens. Overnight lows tonight dropping into the single digits above and also below zero. That's without the wind chill. So as you get ready for work and school Monday morning, please keep this in mind. The rest of your 7-day forecast does feature some warmer temperatures, like I mentioned. We're in the teens through Tuesday in Sioux Falls, 30s and 40s for the second half of the week. But then we start to slide backward again as we head into next weekend with a high of 24. All the while, though, outside of a couple of flurries today for Sioux Falls and Aberdeen, not much in the way of active weather. Speaking of Aberdeen, it gets very cold, especially overnight tonight and then Monday night, before we rebound quite nicely for the second half of the week, staying pretty quiet, 30s and low 40s for highs. Thursday, arguably the pick day of the week with a high of 41. In Pierre, 20 today, 18 tomorrow, either side of 20 even through Tuesday before we warm up Wednesday and Thursday into the low 40s. Then we slide backward again headed into the weekend. All the while, again, organized weather pretty tough to come by beyond a few scattered flurries and snow showers like what we'll keep an eye on for Rapid City today into Monday with highs around 30. We'll get into the 40s Wednesday and Thursday with a good amount of sunshine, but then back we go into the freezer as we head into next weekend. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe and stay warm. For more on your local news, weather, and sports, you can always head on over to KELOLAND.com.